Hold on. Is it working?
Oh yeah, we're live.
I didn't put my volume down. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're good.
We're terrible.
Oh wait, I have like an ad. Let me see. Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Can you guys see us and
Hello?
hear us?
Is anybody listening?
Is anyone out
People
there?
are here. 11 people, I think.
Let's see. Can any of you 11 see or hear us? Let us know in the chat.
Gorgeous says yes, she can see and hear us.
Oh, good. Oh, I was not at the right part of the chat. Hi, guys. Hello, hello, hello. Yay. Thanks for being here. The nurse flipper sees and hears me. Oh, you know, I don't have headphones. Do you think I'm going to have like, well, you guys let me know if it's like echoing and stuff or if you hear.
I think.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. As you can see, I am here with the Joshes of reselling. There's Josh from Harry Tornado and Josh from Lot of Josh. And I said kind of in the video description as well as in the thumbnail that we'd be talking about YouTube, but really we're just here to hang out and chat. So you guys can ask whatever questions, we can talk about whatever. But I know that there are a lot of people who have recently started YouTube channels or are interested in starting YouTube channels. And I wanted to ask these two guys to do this live stream with me because they were kind of like the first people that I called friends on YouTube, and we kind of started around the same time. Since then, they have left me in the dust and like exploded. I'm just sitting back here like not at 10,000 subscribers yet. That's okay.
I'm right behind with you. Harry Tornado left us behind.
Yeah, Josh, Harry Tornado decided to, whatever. We're not going to hold that against him. But so I thought these
good job.
these are wonderful people to talk to about YouTube and just answer any questions that you guys might have. So I guess I wanted to just start with that. And maybe we would start off by just asking both of the Joshes, like maybe just talk to us a little bit about why did you decide to start on YouTube? What was the beginning like for you? And maybe we'll just go from there.
For sure. Josh, do you want to start first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, I started as like an avid viewer. Man, it's been like 2 years since I've been watching reselling content on YouTube. And back then, there were a lot of like morning live streams and working hangouts going out. So I would at work like have it playing on my phone with headphones in while I'm working on the computer. And, I'd occasionally type things in the chat. And that went on for like 4 or 5 months straight. And there was just like a really close-knit community like through those morning hangouts and those working hangouts that, there were people that I saw every single day that, I felt like I had a personal connection to almost. And I think just like that community part of it, it just gave me kind of a sense that I wanted to create content because I felt like it would kind of ingrain me more into the community by doing that. And I don't know, it's just I was on the fence for the longest time, and one day I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do a what sold video, and that was like, man, I was not I was like very part-time at that point, so I was not making a lot of sales. So I'd upload probably like one video a month because it took about a month to sell enough items to make a what sold video.
Yeah.
And as I was getting better at reselling and slowly increasing the volume of sales, I was able to do more what sold videos, and that was kind of like the gateway to the start of my YouTube channel, the what sold videos, and then eventually to vlogs, sourcing videos. And I don't know, I just absolutely love the process of filming, video editing. I think it feeds my creativity side that I think I've always had a little bit of that growing up.
Yeah. My favorite like video, I don't know what you call it, but like camera trick that you did was when you put the camera in the elevator, or maybe you were outside the elevator.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that and being like, okay, like he is really going for
I've seen a lot of people do that where they'll like prop the camera on a tripod and then they'll walk away from the cart into the Goodwill. I'm like, Man, they always have to come back and get the camera. So
Yes.
I
Like, that's
included
what I'm thinking in
me
my
coming
head
back
now.
to get the camera on that.
Yes, I loved that. Awesome. What about you, Josh, at Terry Tornado?
So I started my YouTube channel before I was even a reseller. I think my first video was like September of 2018.
I
Starting
have
YouTube
to watch those videos. It's like about your dog. It's about
Yeah, it was just like
Yeah.
random stuff.
your
Like
YouTube.
I spent so much time trying to think of things to make videos about, and I just decided, I'm just going to start doing it. I had no intention of ever making money with it. I had no intention of ever of it being anything serious. It was just like a passion that I've had for like 10 years. I just decided to do it. As I started making more videos, I started watching more. And I think I found one of Rally Roots videos just randomly in my suggested videos. And I was like, people can buy these shirts for $5 and sell them for, 20. That's awesome. At the time, I didn't realize that the market was already saturated on those Tommy Bahamas. So the first things I bought when I started reselling were not ideal. But that got me into the process of, reselling and then making videos about it. I still didn't really think much was going to come of it. I did start watching a ton of reselling content, like learning other people's, storage methods and what they were buying and selling. So that definitely helped a ton. And it just kind of started from there. I think my first actual reselling video was last February. So just within a little over a year, I think last February I had like 70 subscribers. And then I made my first reselling video and kind of got involved in the community, like started meeting other people that were making similar videos, which I think is the best way to grow your channel, like connecting with people that have the same passions and desires as you, watching their videos, becoming part of their community, and then, just out of reciprocation, is that the word? They will do that to you. So I think Nurse Flipper, she's in the chat, and she is doing a great job of that. I feel like every ounce of free time she has is either reselling, working on videos, or watching other content creators. So she is growing her channel very, very quickly because she is putting her name out there. People are seeing her name pop up on pretty much every live stream that's out there. And that's really what you got to do if you want to grow your channel.
Yeah. Bolo Buddies is doing that too. I feel like Bolo Buddies is everywhere. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
And I feel like I remember you saying in one of your videos not too long ago, but just like how to grow in the right way. Cause I think a lot of people try to take like shortcuts to growing. I mean, obviously like, the worst thing to do is like to buy subs or things like that. But the idea of finding other people who are kind of in the same like trajectory as you, or like, they've been doing it for the same amount of time, and finding ways to collab with them in interesting ways, so that's been some really good advice that I think you put out there. And I know you had shouted out like Gorgeous and other people who did that kind of stuff. So that's definitely, a good suggestion too. But I don't know. And I think my favorite editing thing that I've ever seen you do, or not editing, but just again, like camera trick, was when you put the camera on the street and you drove over it. And I was like so stressed out. I was like, oh my God.
I was too. So my favorite part about that is that when I started doing it, I was like, okay, I'm going to just do this real fast. It was middle of the day. I didn't want my neighbors to see me. So I put it in the road and got in my truck. And then I noticed there was this lady walking down the street towards me. And I'm like, oh gosh, there's no stopping now. It's already in the road. So I backed out of my driveway and drove over it. And she saw me put it down and drive over it. And she's like, what is that? And then I stop, get out of my truck and run back to pick it up. And by that time, she's like 10 feet away from me. So I'm just like, hey, how's it going? And I pick my camera up and get back in the truck and drive off. I should have put that part in the video, but it was really awkward because like, I didn't want to try to explain what I was doing. But yeah, just little editing stuff like that. It's fun. It usually generates some comments on the video like, oh, you almost ran over your camera, or oh, cool shot, anything. There's a lot of reseller content creators on YouTube. So any small things like that you can do to help stand out a little bit or make yourself seem a little bit more, I guess, engaging is going to be good.
Yes, for sure. Okay, I had put something in my community just asking people if they had any questions. Not a lot of people had questions, but I will read the ones that people had. And then if you guys have any questions too, just about YouTube or really about life or about reselling or anything, again, we just wanted an excuse to hang out, or I should say, I wanted an excuse to hang out, and so that's why we're doing this. But Marina asked, How did you learn how to tackle all the YouTube tricks, and who was your inspiration before that? That's a good question.
YouTube tricks in terms of
I think maybe like
video editing, or in terms of like
like
SEO and tags and stuff like that,
that
titles
kind
and
of
thumbnails.
stuff. Yeah.
I watch. There's a whole YouTube community that's, I'm sure you two know as well, that dedicate their channels to how to YouTube in terms of thumbnails, titles, tags, and all that stuff. How to increase viewership, increase the number of subs. So when I started my YouTube channel, I totally ignored all of that. I didn't even know that existed. I would just talk about what sold on eBay, upload it, and I'd get like a comment or two, and that was, that's pretty much how it went for about like 3 to 4 months. And when I, started getting a little traction, and when I say traction, I'm saying like 50 subscribers, I was like, oh, like people are actually watching my video. Like maybe I should take this a bit more seriously. And that's when I found, like Nick Nimmin, and there's just a whole slew of people that teach people how to, improve their YouTube channel. So I started binge watching all of that, just went down the rabbit hole, and really just kind of took notes and copied what other people did. I'd watch other people within the reselling community and see like, what types of videos they did. I would ask myself, like, what type of videos do I enjoy? The two that I always watched were like what sold videos and sourcing videos. So I was already doing the what sold videos, and I was like, okay, I'll try a garage sale video and see how it goes. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
Awesome.
So Art Vandelay said Becky never answered her own question about how she got started. So I want to let Becky answer
that is true.
I totally forgot. Okay, so for me, hi. Sorry, I saw someone just come in. Little bunny foo-foo. I love your handle. Okay, let me say something before I go back and talk about how I started. So one thing I was gonna say, and I feel like I thought of this because I was thinking about the nurse flipper. I feel like too, when you start your YouTube channel, you want to have a memorable name, and I feel like the nurse flipper is so memorable. Like I will always recognize that if I see her in a group or in a live chat. So that's one random thing I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, going back to Art's question, which was my original question. I like had been reselling for maybe close to a year, and then or maybe a little over a year, I had like a decent following on Instagram, maybe like 5,000 to 6,000 people. And I had just made this random post where I was like introducing myself on Instagram to, new followers and stuff. And I rarely ever tag my location on Instagram. I'm scared someone's going to come like find me and, whatever. But I like tagged, where I like my town just that one time. And my friend, who is a videographer, and he's like amazing at what he does. He like works for the Bulls and like different people, but he like saw my post because he was just searching from, looking at the city that we live in. And he's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know you had this whole other life. You have such a huge following. Like this is so cool. And we were just talking a little bit, and I was telling him that I had aspirations of starting a YouTube channel, but I just felt like I would be so garbage at it. And, like I felt like the reselling YouTube world was so saturated. And I was like, I don't, it's probably never going to happen. And even if I do it, I'm going to wait till I get to 10,000 followers on Instagram. And he's like, no, like do it now. He's like, Instagram followers do not equate into YouTube subs. So he's like, just do it now. And he's like, I'll help you. Like, I'll do the first few videos for free. Actually, he told me he would do like everything for free, like all the videos. So I was like,
oh, wow.
okay, because I don't know how to do anything. Like at that time, I never touched, an editing software or anything like that. So he's the one that made my bumper. He's the one that like, he did the first 3 videos, and they're like amazing. Like the quality is so good. The editing is like spot on. And then he was like, I'm really busy. I have to go. Bye. And I was like, oh no. So, I mean, the first few videos I had to do on my own were just treacherous, and I just had to like figure it out. Like I just got into iMovie and I was like, what does this button do? Like, what does that one do? And I just had to figure it out. But I feel like that was the best way for me to learn, because I was able to, kind of make mistakes and learn in my own time. And, you know, my following wasn't huge at the time, so it was okay. But that's kind of how I started. My friend just like bullied me into it, and I just went along with it. And I was like, okay. And here we are now, and I'm still editing all my own videos. And yeah, so.
I love your intro thing. Like when I first started, another great way to grow on YouTube is to reach out and provide value to people in exchange for shout outs. Don't just ask for shout outs for no reason. You probably won't get it. But what I was doing is I had a pretty good background in video editing. So I was trying to find people I could make, intros or end screens or something like that for in exchange for shout outs. A lot of Josh was my first one. Still using my intro I made him to this day. Appreciate that. Did it for Cincinnati Picker, Hustle at Home Mom. And I remember I found Becky and I was like, oh, I can make hers. And I watched one of your first videos. I'm like, oh, never mind. She's already got a banger intro. Like, that's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I lucked out. Like if I didn't have him, I mean, I really wouldn't have even started this channel. Like if he hadn't, encouraged me to do so. Encourage is the wrong word, but yeah. I'm going to throw this question up here. Nurse Flipper asked it a while ago, but she said, you were in the middle of answering something, Josh, I think.
Where were we? I don't even remember.
We can come back to it, but
yeah, I'm sure it'll come back up.
Do you guys just do videos on what pops in your head, or how do you decide what videos you're going to do?
Me, I feel like reselling is a very interesting part of YouTube, like the YouTube world, because they very much so go hand in hand, at least for me. Like what sold videos, I have absolutely zero content to create if I'm not selling anything. Sort like thrift store ride-alongs, garage sale ride-alongs. If I'm not actively outsourcing, then there's no content to create. I think I have a couple of videos that are, I have a few playlists. So like I have my what sold videos, garage sale ride-alongs, like live streams. So I have, in terms of like video ideas, I have just a very general theme for specific types of videos. And then depending what I do that week, that really kind of dictates the content that I create, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, so there's different types of videos. Like if your goal, it depends on what your goal is. Like right now, I'm just trying to continue to grow my channel, and some video topics are more engaging than others. So like, not my last video, not the video I made yesterday, but the video before that, I knew that would not make a lot of money because I talked about, the thing that's going around now that YouTube doesn't really like. So my CPM, which is, I don't know what CPM stands for, but CPM is basically the price that YouTube pays you for every 1,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
The CPM for that video is super low. Like the goal of that video was not to make money. I did monetize it. I did have an ad in the beginning, but it's not going to make a ton of money. However, the video I made yesterday, like the 10 BOLO list, like I put a lot of time and energy into that video. A lot of like editing went into it. I think it has 2 mid-roll ads, and it's doing very well, much more so than compared to the other video. So that's one thing you just learn as you do more YouTube videos. You learn like what topics perform better. On YouTube, the most lucrative videos to make on YouTube is where you are making videos about how to make money online. That's just the companies that pay for advertising on YouTube want their ads on those videos, because people that watch reselling videos or like Graham Stephan makes a lot of videos about like just money in general for millennials. And so he's taking that really profitable niche, whatever you want to call it, of financial advice, and then targeting it to one of the most densely populated age groups on the internet, which is why he's making upwards of $200,000 a month on YouTube. So really, the videos where you talk about money, if you look at Garage Flips, Lonnie, if you go to his channel and you look at his uploads and you sort them by most popular, all of his like 7 of his most popular videos, all the thumbnails are all him handing money to people. So anytime you put money, like my video yesterday, I had all this money in the thumbnail. Anytime you have dollar signs in the thumbnail, those videos just perform better in terms financially. Obviously, you don't want to be clickbaity and scammy about it. But if you can provide a video that helps people, like the BOLO videos, what sold videos, those typically perform better, financially speaking.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
It's so interesting.
And if you, I mean, like the garage sale videos, they still do well as too. But generally, if you're talking about money, you have dollar signs in there. You're actually talking about the business aspect of it, not like the fun part of reselling. YouTube somehow knows that, and they put more expensive ads on your videos. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of YouTube, which most of you probably don't care about, but I love it. I watch Nick Niven, Roberto Blake, video influencers all the time. I've studied the psychology of like thumbnails and what makes people click your videos. I'm certainly not a professional, but I love that aspect of it, like how to, like, for lack of a better term, like cheat the system, like how to just make your videos more engaging. Because a lot of times, if you're just scrolling through like your trending like tab or something like that, and you find yourself clicking on videos, people just watch videos for no reason. Like if you go look at one of Cincinnati Pickers or RVA Flips videos that have like 1 million views, there's comments. People are like, why is this in my recommended? Like, it's super interesting, and I have no idea why I'm watching all of this video, It's like at night, somebody posted the other day, like the clip from a video where those two like tribal guys are like making swimming pools and huts out of mud. I'm like, I've seen that. Like you're scrolling.
I've seen that video too.
Yeah, it's got like 40 million views, and there's just like two guys in the woods making a house out of mud. I'm like,
yeah,
whatever. I have not seen that, so I think that what's recommended to us is
it's like a whole niche on YouTube, like making houses out of nothing. This guy made a little cabin with no tools or anything, just mud and sticks and stuff. It's very, very
there's an ASMR aspect to it too, because he's not talking at all. So it's just him just like, starting a fire. So he's like hitting two rocks together. I don't know. It's odd. I don't know why I watched it, but I did. I finished the whole video.
I think with reselling, like even if you're not a reseller, the idea of being able to support yourself financially only by going to a thrift store, buying things and selling them online is intriguing for a large audience, which I think helps us a lot. So I think I got off track a little bit, but how you choose your videos, it really depends on what your goal of the video is. If you're a smaller creator, your goal should be to build your audience, like get more subscribers. So I don't know. In the very beginning, I would probably do videos just talking about you and your business. A lot of people start their first video and it's like how to sell on eBay, like a tutorial, but nobody's going to watch that because you don't have any authority on YouTube yet. So I would say your first couple of videos, just talk about you and yourself, maybe show what you're selling, and kind of leave those tutorial style videos until you have some clout on YouTube and people to actually listen to your advice. There's a lot of advice on YouTube. I've made videos that I wish I would have changed some information in. But so it just depends on what your goal is. I would try to mix in a little bit of everything. What sold, some sourcing, some bolo videos, whatever.
Yeah, I have a couple thoughts on that. One is, I think one thing I had to learn kind of the hard way is that something that works for someone else may not necessarily work for you. So I feel like for example, both of you, I feel like the majority of your videos are very vlog style, and it's like, come thrift with me and let's make this deal. And like, I'm going to show you what I sold by like packing it in front of you. And I feel like, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how you get more views. And then I would try that and it'd be like, 4 people were like, yeah, I'll watch that. Like it just, that wasn't a style that people liked from me. And so instead of like pushing it and being like, no, you guys should like this, like I was like, I'll just stick to my talking heads, I guess, and just like do what I do, because, and I don't know if it's because that's how I started and that's what people have come to associate me with. But for whatever reason, when I do like vlog style videos, they just don't get the same number of views. And I've just had to learn to accept that. I still do it every now and then just to test the waters and be like, does anyone care now? But usually they still don't. So that's fine. Like I'll leave it alone, but I think that's really important. Just because something worked really well for one person, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And that's okay. Like that's not something that means you're a failure or something. It just means you got to find what helps you engage with your audience in a way that they want to engage with you. And then the other thought I had on that was, I think sometimes when I think about like what videos should I make, what topics should I talk about, I will try to pay a lot of attention to the comments that people are leaving. So sometimes I'll, do a tutorial on blank and someone will ask a question about like, you just did that in your video. Like, how do you do that? And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I thought that was kind of common sense, but I guess I will make a video about that. So if you kind of pay attention to, like, people will tell you exactly what they want to see in the comments. And typically if someone has left a comment about it, like, other people are also thinking the same thing. And so I try to pay attention there and have gotten a lot of great video ideas that way too. So yeah.
You got a super chat from Nick Pick.
Oh,
Nick
you.
She said, all three of you are amazing creators.
Well, that's very generous. I don't know that I should be lumped into that with that, but thank
No, you should be.
Honestly,
like when you like first start, I think just experimenting with different video types is so important. I think if you want to be on YouTube for the long run, I mean, like burnout on YouTube, such a real thing. You hear even outside of the reselling niche, like you see creators come and go, and I think burnout is just, there's a lot of pressure on creating videos. Especially when it comes to like the analytics side. Like I assure you, like even though I tell people like don't obsess over the analytics, like probably like 99% of YouTube content creators are obsessing over the analytics. I think the worst thing for me, like 3 or 4 months ago, this was like new on the YouTube creator app. They started ranking all your videos. Like it's on like the web-based dashboard too. It ranks your videos and compares it to the last 10 uploads every single time. So when that first came out, it was terrible. Like I would refresh it like every 10 minutes. I'm like, how's it doing now? How's it doing now? How's it doing now? And I too like forced myself. I was like, okay, I'm not going to check it. I'm not going to check it for like 3 days. Like I can't, because I am wasting so much time just refreshing the feed over and over and over.
Yeah.
So I think you have to find the balance between creating content that you enjoy if you want to be on YouTube for the long term. Because if you're not enjoying the process of filming the video and putting it together, it turns into a grind. It turns into work. And I think the cool part about YouTube is there is a fun aspect to it. There's a lot of thought that goes into each video, but like the creating part is, I think, people who've been on YouTube for, a year plus. They're the ones who do YouTube because they enjoy it. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. How do you guys feel about like the burnout aspect? Because I've been on the cusp. Like I would try to ramp up like the quantity of videos that I'd upload, and then after like a month or two, I'm like, okay, I gotta reel it back a little bit because I'm feeling myself getting to the verge of burnout.
What do you think?
I mean, it obviously like it really depends on like how much time and effort you put into your videos. Like a lot of the guys that are doing daily videos, the content's pretty easy. They just grab the GoPro, film 10 minutes of what they sold and a little quick answering a question and a comment of yesterday's video and call it quits. Not much editing, not any screenshots or anything like that. I mean, it probably takes them 20-30 minutes to make a video, and if they can get 20-30,000 views on that every day, then yeah, that's awesome for them. And I seriously doubt they're going to get burned out anytime soon. But I think like with the more intricate video editing, like the ones that take the longer amount of times to edit, or videos that you make that your audience asks for, but you're not really passionate about. Like I get people asking me to make videos all the time that I've either talked about. Like somebody asked me today in a comment, like, can you talk about how you ship perfume? I'm like, I've said probably 15 times in different videos about how to ship perfume. So it really just depends on how much work it feels like for you.
Yeah.
You can comfortably make videos every day and you don't feel like you're getting burned out. You can do it. But Art Vandelay is asking about set upload schedules. I think if you want to grow your channel, you should do at least once a week. It's better to do once a week for a year than do 4 videos 1 week and then skip 3 weeks and then do 2 more videos and then skip 3 months and then make 10 videos in 1 week. So just start slow, start 1 a week, and then you can maybe up it to 2 a week or 3 a week, as it goes forward. I started with 2 a week, I think, generally, and then I got laid off and I was like, I better bump it up to 3 a week.
Got all this time now.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to make videos just to make videos. You don't want to make the same videos over and over again. You want to make if you start doing that, people are going to stop watching your videos.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give people, provide something, whether it be entertainment or value or something. You can't just make videos just to make videos.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really important to know like your own context and know what you can or cannot do. Like you don't want to set yourself up for failure by saying, I'm going to put out 3 videos a week no matter what, because that's what Harry Tornado does. But it's like Harry Tornado does that because this is what he does. You know, like he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have like, you know, this other job that he has to report to. And I think early on that was something that like my husband really ingrained in me. Like I was like, I'm going to do this and that. And he's like, no, like he's like, you have a family, like you have other responsibilities. Like, I mean, he was honestly kind of not a super fan of the idea of me even starting a YouTube channel. So I had to really like prove to him that I would be responsible with my time, because if I wasn't careful, I could, you know, be the type of person that would say like, I'm just going to ignore everything else and focus on this. So I think it's important to know like, this is what I can do right now. And that's okay. And maybe like, yeah, if I could do more, maybe I could grow faster, but like, this is what I can do right now in order to put out quality content. And I'm going to be consistent because the audience will appreciate that. Like they'll, you know, appreciate the fact that they can keep coming back to my channel every week and know that there's going to be something new for them. And if that's all I can do for the time being, that's totally fine. And so understanding like what you can do on a consistent level, I think is really important. And it's okay not to keep up with like the Rally Roots of the world, because again, that's what they do. Like, you know, like Brian can just pump out like a gazillion videos at this point because he's been doing it for so long and editing for so long that it just goes like that. You know, it's
it does get a lot easier after you've made 175 videos or whatever I've made now. Like it's
for sure. So Gorgeous asked a wonderful question, and she put like the billions of question marks beforehand so that, you know, we would catch it. She said she has a list of questions, so I want to make sure that we're like getting through these. But she said, thumbnail versus title, is one more important than the other? Part 2, is your thumbnail text searchable? I don't know the answer to the second question, actually.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think YouTube is smart enough to like read your thumbnail's a picture. I don't think they're smart enough to read a picture and like make text in there of various fonts, like legible and searchable for the algorithm. I don't know if that's true, but I don't think it is. Josh, do you agree?
I don't think the text on the thumbnail is searchable. I did read something that it recognizes if there's like a face on your thumbnail. And I think having like a face, I don't have like my face on every thumbnail, but I think there's like a psychological aspect where people are like, oh, like this guy looks happy, I want to click on this video. But I think thumbnail, I mean, I'm not very good at creating like artistic thumbnails, but I think it has to be catchy in terms of, you know, for like my sourcing videos, if I find a really good item, I'll include that item in the thumbnail, and then I'll just do like a very like short one-liners, like how much did I buy this for, or like how much am I going to sell this for, something to kind of draw people into the thumbnail. And then the catchy thumbnail is going to draw people to read the title. So I think, in my opinion, it goes like drawing, eye-catching thumbnail, and then title.
Quick, before it disappears, you got a $10 super chat from Nurse Flipper a few minutes ago.
Yes, I did.
Thank you all for doing this. Very informational, and I love all 3 of your channels. Dolphin, 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 Dolphin.
Thank you, Nurse Flipper.
Yeah, so if you guys go to a lot of Josh's channel and you go to his uploads and you search by most popular, his 5 most popular videos, one thing that they have in common is the thumbnail, and that he uses orange font. He started using it doesn't matter what color font you use, but you want some sort of system with your thumbnails, like something that people start to get used to. I use yellow in mine most of the time. Sometimes there's a black background. You want it to, if the background's kind of light, you don't want to use a light color font because it'll kind of just get lost. But one thing he uses is this arrow. It's like a little orange, like arrow.
Yeah.
He uses it a lot, and it's great on thumbnails. Like,
yes,
you've seen in like suggested videos, anytime there's a thumbnail, it's like, you won't believe what they found in this swamp. And it's an arrow pointing to something. And there's never anything back there, but it makes you curious. It's like, what did they find in the swamp? Like, I want to see what that arrow is pointing at. So arrows do very, very well. I had, I think I've done it twice on mine. Like, one was like, I can't believe this lady at the bins gave me this. And it was just a picture of the bins from the video and then an arrow pointing to something. she did. It wasn't clickbait. Like she actually did give me something. I sold it for like $80 or something. But that video performed very well because the arrow was pointing at like a pile of random stuff, and you couldn't see just from the thumbnail what it was. So that makes people curious, and it makes them click on the video. So arrows do very well. Now you, Josh, I'm sorry, everybody's going to see that you put arrows in your videos all the time now.
We're all going to steal.
Dude, everyone put arrows.
Arrows and like red circles. The best thumbnail ever is like, oh, I can't believe this was caught on tape, and it's like security footage with a red circle and an arrow pointing, and there's nothing in the circle. But the video's got 800 million views because people want to know what's in the circle.
Jody actually left a comment earlier too, saying that Google can read the text in thumbnails.
Really? Interesting.
I honestly would not be surprised by. And then he also had a really great comment and just said, title is more important than thumbnail, but thumbnail is definitely a close second in importance. People just won't find your video if the title is not searchable. People won't click if thumbnail sucks. And it's just like that in reselling too with your pictures. Like if your pictures are no good and if your listing title is no good, you will not sell the item because people don't know what you are trying to sell. And it's kind of the same thing. Like I think I was really hesitant too, like in the beginning to put my face in thumbnails. And I was like, that seems weird. Like, why can't I just put in text? Like, you know, but then just understanding, like people want to understand they're going to make like a human connection when they click on your video and they want to know who that connection is going to be with. Yeah, it is. Like, it's definitely, both things are important, Jody. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and like Josh was saying, like the putting your face on the thumbnail it does have that psychological aspect. Like, really, the only thing somebody's going to see before they click on your video and start watching it is the title and thumbnail. Like, they're not going to see a preview of the video or anything. Like, your title and thumbnail are the two most important things. I agree with Jody. I think the title is more important than the thumbnail. But if your thumbnail, the job of your thumbnail is to get people to click on your video. So putting your face in there, showing that you're happy, showing money, like, oh my gosh, why is this guy so happy? Where did he get all this money from? Where is that arrow pointing? That is what you have to think about to get people to click. Obviously, you don't want to be abusive with it. You don't want to have clickbait. But you know, as a full-time YouTuber, like your job is to get views. So you've got to work the system in a way that's responsible, but still, doing a good job of being a YouTuber,
Yeah, I will say, like, the thumbnail of Josh's that you're both Josh, a lot of Josh that I like remember the most is when you toured Mr. Buys-A-Lot's warehouse, and it was like the arrow, and it was like, you'll never, something about like,
it was like the biggest theft pile I've ever seen.
And it was kind of misleading in the sense of like, because the arrow, I thought it was just pointing to literally like a little pile. I was like, and then I watched the video and I was like, oh my God, like the whole thing.
Yeah, I couldn't capture it all in one photo.
Yeah, it was, I remember I was watching that, or I was looking at the thumbnail and I was like, where's the death pile? Like, I should click on this to see, like, what does it look like, So
you just got to follow the arrow and it'll point you right to it.
Oh my gosh. That was like seriously one of my favorite videos I've ever seen on reselling. That was insane.
Yeah, his warehouse, even with the video footage, it doesn't do, it can't, I just couldn't capture the sheer volume of stuff he had. Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go to Josh's channel. He actually just recently interviewed him too, Mr. Buys-A-Lot, but he like actually went to his warehouse. He has like two. He has one that is listed inventory and one that's not listed, right? Like
he has a death pile warehouse.
It's insane. So
warehouse.
Definitely watch that. Amber from Amber Resells, one of my faves, she said, are you all usually ahead on videos? No. In other words, how many pre-scheduled videos do you usually have ready to go on YouTube? 0. I always aspire to, but rarely have any. How about you guys?
I'm realizing more and more as we're getting into this live stream that we're just all extremely unqualified to do this.
How dare you?
But it's fun.
No, you're right.
Me, oh man, I think there were a couple occasions, like what sold videos that I recorded and I've been ahead and I'll upload it like the next day. But for me, majority of my videos are like, I'll edit it same day and I won't even schedule it. It's just a random time. It's like 2:16 p.m. I'm like, oh, I'm done editing. So let me go ahead and upload it now.
Yeah, I I'd say 90% of my videos are filmed, edited, and uploaded the same day. I generally try to stick to a relative time frame, like between 3 and 5 p.m. But really, it's like Josh said, like whenever it's done. Like last night, I finished that Bola video at like 8:15, and so if I premiere a lot of my videos, and on YouTube, if you want YouTube to push out notifications for a premiere of your video, you have to schedule it at least an hour in advance. And I did not want to stay up until 9:15, so I just scheduled it for like 15 minutes out. So YouTube won't warn people, but once your video starts, like that 2-minute countdown, then it'll notify people.
Right. Yeah.
So just putting that out there. But yeah, I don't remember the last time I like edited a video and then waited to put it up. Like I just do one video at a time, and once it's done, I just upload it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll try to like batch work my filming just because, well, now I have a lot more time on my hands, but typically like I don't. And so if I do have a random spare hour of time or something, and if I can like knock out recording 2 videos in one sitting or something, I'll do it. So I at least have, you know, a video on my phone that I know I can go back to later and edit and then, you know, upload or whatever. But typically it's the same thing as them. Like it's very day to day. But I feel like because I've been pushing myself to put out a video a day for the next couple weeks, I have been much more organized in my thoughts as far as like laying out, okay, like what are my ideas? What have people suggested? And I have a schedule for myself at least. And again, if I have the time while I'm sitting there filming something, and especially if it makes sense to do it, like for example, I don't know which video is going to come out tomorrow, but it's either going to be like how I make YouTube videos, just because someone has asked me to do that. I'm sure I'll get like 4 views, but that's fine. And then another one is me talking about like things that we can do as resellers right now while we're on quarantine, just like, you know, different things that you've maybe been putting off that you can tackle. So I recorded that video first just as like a talking head. I'm just sitting here talking to my camera. And then I also kind of tried to film like behind the scenes stuff for the video about making YouTube videos, if that makes sense. So it's like, if I'm thoughtful about it and I have a schedule and like I have a brain dump somewhere, then I can get ahead in that way. But rarely am I in that space just because usually I'm also juggling, like I have a concert tomorrow and, you know, like there's a lot of other stuff. But I feel like with everything going on, like I've been given the gift of time. So it's kind of cool to see like what the potential could be. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Bluegrass Picker says thumbnails are key for the up and comer YouTube creator. A guy like Cincinnati Picker just needs an awesome title. He's the best at titles. I think I finally figured out why that is. So yeah, if you have, you know, almost 100,000 subscribers like Cincinnati Picker has, you don't really need to worry about thumbnails so much. Most of those guys like him, Garage Flips, RVA Flips, they just pull screenshots from the video. Like I said, Garage Flips, all of his thumbnails are this, him handing money to people. And that works for him. Like I said, his top 10 most popular videos are all the same, him handing money to people. So it works. And that's just one thing they don't have to worry about. So what I love about YouTube, especially in the reselling community, is that you don't have like, there's different ways to do it. You know, look at, I like to compare myself to part-time pickers. We both started about the same time. We hit 1,000 subscribers the very same day. And he is growing because of his knowledge. He doesn't really care about thumbnails or editing or anything like that. And nobody else cares. Like people don't watch his videos for entertainment or fancy editing. They watch his videos to see his, like what he's buying and selling, like how he got this thing at an estate sale for $1 and sold it for $1,700 or whatever, you know, like he has these crazy flips, and that's why he's growing. So if you can provide some crazy information or crazy, like whatever value to people, do that. Like if you have this information, this value to people, they will watch your videos and subscribe. If you don't have good information like myself, and I'm just very mediocre, you have to incorporate all this other stuff we're talking about.
You're not mediocre.
The titles and everything. You know, part-time pickers, he can it's just like Cincinnati. I mean, he can do any type. It really, there's the people that watch Matt's videos are going to watch them regardless of his title and thumbnail. It doesn't matter because they know it's going to be something super valuable in that video. So there's just so many ways to succeed on YouTube. But if you, like I said, if you're a newbie and you don't know anything, you've got to do the thumbnails and titles and editing tricks.
Yeah, Profit Monster says, a lot of Josh just has to post his face and say, details, pay my bills, and he gets 85,000 views. Honestly, I have no idea why that video took off like that. I cannot recreate that.
I know. I feel like both of you guys at this point have had your like viral video, you know, like the video that just for whatever reason took off and got a ton of views compared to what you guys usually do. And that's something that I watch a YouTube channel called Think Media, and it's a YouTube channel about creating YouTube content. And that's something that the guy on there always says, like, you might be your next video away from making your viral video or your video that just like takes off. Like, I'm still honestly waiting for mine. But yeah, I think with the two of you, like, I don't think that you knew as you press the upload button for those given videos that this is it, like this is what's gonna get me to that, you know, like
I don't think anybody ever knows
the videos where I'm like, this is it, this is the viral one, those always perform the worst. I'm like,
yes.
1,700 views over 30 days.
I feel that so much. I put so much
you just never know.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that. Yeah.
One of my viral videos was the first one I made with my new Canon camera. And the beginning of that video, I talk about my camera a lot. Like the first 2 minutes is just me talking about the camera. And it's like $50 items that sell fast on eBay. It's got like almost 160,000 views. And so many people are like, dude, we don't care. Like the top comment is like, video starts at 2 minutes. Thank me later. And it's got like 200 likes. And I feel so bad. I'm like, if I would have known so many people were going to watch it, I wouldn't have talked about my camera so much.
Yeah.
But now you can't. I guess I could go back and edit that out, but it's frustrating. You just never know what's going to take off. And at the time I uploaded that video, I think only had like 5,000 subscribers or so. My videos would get like 2,000 to 3,000 views each. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
You never know like the timing too, because the video, my most viewed video, it didn't gain traction until about a month after I uploaded it. I think I uploaded it like early November, and just mid-December, I was just like looking at the views on my videos, like the last 48 hours. And I was like, what? Like 1,000 views on this video that I uploaded a month ago. And I got super excited. And then the next week, it just exponentially increased. I was like, holy cow, like what is happening?
Yeah.
It's just so random.
That happened to me on some like an eBay tutorial video that I made like 9 months ago. Like it was like terrible quality. And it, for the first 8 months or first 7 months, I think it had like 3,000 views. And then in like February by itself, it got like 45,000 views randomly. Like if you eBay, YouTube will show you like a chart of views and it's like nothing. And then bam, a huge spike. Yeah. And now it's back to nothing. Like it gets like 1 view a day. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, I have one video that's kind of taking off, like my first one that got more than 20,000 views, and it's literally me doing a thrift haul for over an hour. So like, not only is it like my most viewed video, it's literally one of my longest ones too. So the watch time on that sucker is like crazy. And I'm like, okay, like I guess I'll do more of that. I don't know. Yeah. So Emily asked, how important are tags? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I actually think they're pretty important, especially if you're first starting out. And like what you want to do is you want to rank for certain tags or for certain keywords, because then when people are searching on Google or YouTube or whatever, and let's say they are searching in YouTube thrift haul, and you have put that as a tag, you can actually see, like I use vidIQ. That's one of those plugins. I don't use the paid version. I just use the free one. I know there are other plugins called like TubeBuddy and whatever, but vidIQ will show you like what you are ranking for each tag. And usually I'm not ranking for a whole lot. Like I usually will rank for my own name. I always put my own YouTube channel as a tag. But sometimes like you will rank for something, and even smaller channels can rank, especially if there aren't that many people searching for that thing. Like if you are putting a like beauty vlog in your tags, like it's going to be really hard to rank just because everyone and their mom is putting out beauty vlogs or beauty channel stuff or whatever. But if you are putting stuff that is pretty specific to what's going on in your video, and maybe there aren't that many searches on it, but people are searching it, that's a great way to be found, I think, you know, especially as someone who may not have like a huge presence yet. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think when you're first starting out, just gaining traction on your channel is the hardest thing to do. So I think tags and populating your videos onto the YouTube search, that's probably the best way when you're first starting out to bring new people to your channel. People aren't typing into YouTube search for fun. You know, they're seeking out an answer to a problem that they have, and if your video has a solution for them, then that gives them reason to stick around, subscribe to your channel, and whatnot. But just having a solution for a problem brings people in, and I think the tags help you rank in the search. So I think it's extremely important as well, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I treat tags. Some people like just have the tags saved. Like they use the same tags on every video, because if they're only making reselling videos, most of the tags are reusable. So like if you read their video descriptions, it'll get to the bottom and they'll say something like, you know, these are the tags, ignore. And it's like 50, like eBay reseller, selling on eBay, blah, blah, like, and everything's like relative to their channel. But it can, I don't know. So for me, I treat tags like alternative video titles. So like, you know, obviously I'll do like selling on eBay, eBay reseller. I'm using eBay seller now because I'm realizing that new people that get into like have an interest in selling on eBay, they don't know what a reseller is. They generally associate us with eBay sellers. So I use eBay seller as a tag. How to make money on eBay. I think I'm ranked like 50 or 60, like number 50 or 60 on how to sell on eBay or something like that. I don't rank for very much, but I probably use like 8 to 10 tags in my videos. Just basically those keywords like what sold on eBay, or this stuff sells on eBay, items that sell for money on eBay, or like just alternative video titles, stuff that your tags are basically what people are searching for to get to your video. So anything that they could search that would, you know, bring them to your video and then let them actually be interested in it. You don't want to say, I don't know, you don't want to put a tag in there that they search and then watch your video and then they're disappointed about it. You know, you want to make sure you're actually providing that information. But that's what I do. You know, 8 to 10 tags, nothing crazy.
Yeah, Emily Conway said she's going to do some more research on good tags. But I think too, like again with like vidIQ or something, I promise I'm not sponsored, like they don't know who I am, but you can even see what other people are putting in their tags section of their videos. So that's like great research for me. Like I'll go to like Empty Hanger's channel, or I'll go to, you know, these people with like huge channels, even like Rally Roots, and I'll see like what are they putting in their tag section as tags? And if you're tagging a lot of the same stuff, then also maybe you will show up as suggested videos after theirs. You can even put, like I do this, you can even put other reseller channels as tags in your tag section, because you're basically saying like my channel or like this video is similar to what those people are doing. And again, like I feel like by doing that, I have been suggested after a lot of those people and discovered that way, you know? So like I think they're pretty helpful. But, yeah.
Amber Resells says, I was looking at videos tonight on how to clean Birkenstocks. I clicked on the top 6 videos and they were all terrible. 50% like to dislike ratios. So that immediately goes to my video idea list. It's a great idea. If you find yourself searching for something and you cannot find any good videos on that, like how to clean Birkenstocks, that's something that probably has a relatively high search volume. Like Birkenstocks are pretty common. I'm sure probably a couple thousand people per day are searching that on YouTube. And if you can put a video out there that's short, sweet, and to the point with a good title, good thumbnail, that would be a way to basically take over that market, the market on YouTube of how to clean Birkenstocks. If your video gets up there with a decent amount of views and a really good like to dislike ratio with a solid thumbnail, that's going to be the one that people are going to click on probably 90% of the time they search that. So that's a great way to grow on YouTube, is to find like really niche down topics to make a video about, like how to clean Birkenstocks, how to clean Birkenstocks with OxyClean. That's an even a tighter niche. You know, so that's the great point. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's also proof that dislikes help your video.
Yeah.
If the top 6 have that many dislikes and they're still at the top 6.
Very true. And the Bee's Knees Mommy Grammy gave a $2 super chat. So thank you so much. She said good evening.
Awesome,
I think that was like upon arrival.
My videos too.
So thank you. Gorgeous asked a question. When vlogging in a store, do you ask for permission? I don't vlog very much, but I do not. But
no, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I have three thrift stores in my area that have told me not to film anymore. So, but they still let me shop there, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I've never been asked even what I'm doing. Like I'm at, like we all, or Josh and I use our backpacks with our GoPros clipped on them, and people look at it all the time, but I've never been asked to stop. I've actually mentioned it to people, like the assistant store manager at Goodwill and the manager at Salvation Army, and they both said they didn't care. So I guess it's just your area, I guess. Like in LA, it's probably everybody's filming all the time, you know, so they probably have more stricter.
Yeah, I think technically most thrift stores, I know Goodwill, they have it in policy that you're not supposed to film inside, but like some of the thrift stores and Goodwills I go to, I talk to the manager often, and they see me in there, filming obviously, and they've asked me like, oh, like, what do you do? So there's an employee at one of the Goodwills I go to that watches my channel now. So I don't know, it's like one of those things. It's technically a rule, but it depends on the manager if they want to enforce it, I guess. But I don't know. For me, it's better to ask for forgiveness, because if I ask, I know what the answer is. It's no.
I found that I really like the GoPro clipped onto the backpack, because it's if you don't make a big deal out of filming in public, other people aren't going to make a big deal out of it. Like if you walk around with this, like if I walk around with this on like a selfie stick, filming with the big furry thing on top, like everybody's going to look at me immediately.
Yeah.
But when you're walking in with a GoPro clipped on your backpack, most people aren't even going to see it unless they look at you, and then they're just like, oh, maybe that's the backpack he goes skiing with, and it's just part of the backpack,
Yeah, I tried that at the New York City bins that I go to.
Yeah.
I try to walk in confident, I'm filming whatever, backpack clipped, just wearing a backpack. As soon as I walked in, 5 steps in, the security guard in the front was like, hey, you filming? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Bigger cities like that, they probably get it all the time. But if you're in a small, like South Carolina, like I don't even think there's any other vloggers from South Carolina, much less like anybody filming in a thrift store. So like I said, just be confident. Don't make a big deal out of it. And if you get caught, like I said, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to take your camera away.
Gorgeous asked another great question, but this is not for me. Maybe because she already knows that I don't. But do you have a script for your YouTube videos so you stay on track?
I try to. I'm a terrible public speaker, just like doing it on the fly. So I'll do like little bullets of just like general thoughts that I want to talk about in the video. And then once I have like a couple of bullet points, just to kind of organize my thoughts, so I'm not going back and forth, just so I know like this is the sequence of things that I want to talk about. So I'll have like a general outline, and then like everything in between, all the sentences in between are just kind of, I'll turn on the camera and start talking.
So I was looking at one other thing I want to bring up before we end here. My man Drew, Profit Monsters, gave a $9.99 super
Drew.
This is the content I love, especially many perspectives. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
So I do not have a script usually. With my pirate ship video, I really wanted that video to be as polished as possible. So what I would do is like I would break up what I wanted to say into segments. Usually, like before, I would film everything. Like I would film a line until I got it perfect, and then I would like use that one and move on to the next line. But now I'll like not even record. I'll just say like my line. Like so now, like my outro, all my outros, like, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time. You're the best. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I know that, like I've got that down. So I try to make my other videos, like at least the intro, as polished as possible. I don't want my intro to have any ums or pauses or buts. Like I want it to seem scripted, even though it's not. It's really just me saying that line like 10 times until I get it figured out. Then I press record and try to get it perfect. It's really easy to edit videos like that. Like I used to just push record and then like babble my way through everything and then take like 4 hours cutting through that whole clip to get everything. But now I just babble silently or babble to myself without the camera recording. And then once I feel like I'm confident of that line, I'll press record, get it, and then move on to the next line to do the same thing, not record until I get it down pat. That's with like the more polished videos, like my Bolo video from yesterday or the pirate ship video. If it's a vlog, whatever, like I'll still do it for the intro, like make sure the intro is solid. But I'll say ums and whats, like going over, what I sold, I guess. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at the same time, you want yourself to seem professional and like you take your channel seriously. So yeah, not scripted, but thought out and intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the videos, I want something to be portrayed in terms of like a message, or whether it's something that's taught, like a how-to, like how to ship a Guitar Hero controller. I want the viewer to leave my video feeling like they gained something from watching, whether it's just something like the video I published this week, just something to relate to, or I want them to leave like happy, I guess. So in that sense, I try to I'm like, what do I want this video to accomplish, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah. Awesome. If you guys have time, there's like 2 more questions if you're game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. I know we are at the 1 hour mark right now, but Josh, I don't have anywhere to go. I know I told my son is sleeping right now, but my son does not sleep well without me. And so my husband was like, what if he wakes up and he's like inconsolable? And I was like, I'll just end it. I'll just I gotta go. So if that happens, you know why? If I just like slam my laptop down. So Restyle Secrets asks, do you have ideal length strategies?
Hair tornado?
Yes. So if you're just starting out on YouTube, like you don't have any videos yet, you want to start making your videos, I would keep your videos as short as possible, 3 to 5 minutes. I would never make a video over 5 minutes if you have less than 100 subscribers. Once you're into that 100 to 1,000 subscriber mark, you can maybe dabble in like the 5 to 8 minute videos. But still, you're working on building a community of people that are valuing what you say enough to give you more than 5 to 8 minutes of their time. If you are a brand new content creator, you've never made a YouTube video in your life, and your first video is 45 minutes long, nobody is going to watch that entire video unless they are related to you or your dearest friend. I just don't want you guys to put a ton of energy and time into making a super long video and then get discouraged when it gets 20 views and your watch time is an average of like 30%. So it's easier for you as a content creator to make those shorter videos in the beginning, a 3 to 5 minute video just about something you're comfortable with, get it edited and uploaded. If it gets 20 views, cool. You can make another 3 to 5 minute video later on this week or another one next week. So just, you don't want to, going into YouTube, you should not have any expectations. Most people don't even get 1,000 subscribers. Like it seems like a lot of people do that, but it's a lot of work to get there. Building an audience on YouTube is very, very tough. So you don't want to, if people are clicking on your videos in the beginning, you want to be a good steward of their time and not take up any more of it than necessary. So again, 3 to 5 minutes until you're at 100 subscribers, 100 to 1,000 subscribers, 5 to 8 minutes. And after 1,000 subscribers, you can maybe go up to 12 to 15. But I honestly don't try to make them more than 15 minutes even now, just because I don't know, their attention spans just aren't that bad. Aren't that great. It's, I don't know, even with really good videos, like if I'm watching a video and it's really good and it's like 35 minutes long, I still probably won't watch it all. Casey Neistat uploaded a video today about coronavirus, and I did watch all of that, but it was kind of long. It's like over 20 minutes, I think.
You just said the word.
Oh man, you owe Becky like $50.
I don't care. It's totally fine.
I don't think it'll be fine.
No, you're
my other videos
Becky,
still even be monetized.
Counter argument.
No, I totally don't care. So I agree with what you're saying. I will also respectfully disagree with a lot of it, in the sense of like, I think my second video was like 45 minutes long, and it was me being like, and I bought this, and this is what I like about it. And then I bought this, and like,
people like your personality though.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it really like showed at all at the beginning, but I think that is part of it. Like, there has to be a reason why someone's going to sit through 45 minutes of that with you, but also like understanding who you're catering to. So I know a lot of people, like I have a friend who just started a channel on gaming, you know, like he like plays video games and I don't know, whatever. And he saw that I had uploaded that haul video I talked about earlier that was like over an hour long. And he's like, who watches those? He's like, what is your retention rate with a video like that? Like, how many views are you going to get? And I was like, it'll be fine. I was like, people like to just play it in the background, and they just like kind of just senseless babble happening behind them while they're like steaming or while they're, you know, doing their shipping or whatever. Like, it's fine. And again, like, that's my most viewed video right now. And I don't think it has like the greatest retention rate, but I mean, it's like, I know who my audience is. I know what function my videos serve for them. Sometimes they really want me to sit down and teach them something, and I try as best as I can to be like in and out as quickly as possible and just give them the information that they want. But I know full well going into some of those videos, like, this is just going to be played in the background in tens of homes around the nation, you know? So it's like, yeah. So I'm like, you just have to know going in, like, yeah, your retention rate may not be amazing, but it might be because people just need stuff in the background too. So.
Yeah. And a video like that, like if it was like a one take thing, like just a thrift haul, like it wasn't super hard for you to make. You know, I just don't want people to put in a lot of work and energy, like especially if they don't have experience with video editing, like spending 10 hours to edit a 30-minute video and then it gets 10 views, you know? So it's just, it's not.
Bing is here.
What was that?
Joey Bada Bing is here. I met him in one of your live videos, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think he's been here for a while. He
okay.
Earlier.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's been giving his little his he just hit 1,000 subscribers like last week. He's hustled for it. It's taken him a long time, so I'm super glad that he finally hit that.
Congrats. Josh, from a lot of Josh, did you have any thoughts on length? If not, I put our last question up, but I'd love to.
No, I just wanted to hear both sides, because I know you guys have very opposite thoughts, and just watching both your videos, I know in terms of video lengths, you guys are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So I was like,
how dare you?
Argument. It works different for everybody. Like, mine is like the short video thing is just in general, like especially if people haven't seen you before, if they are just clicking your video for the first time, if you can give them a really solid 5 to 8 minute video that's, you know, they don't want it, they don't feel themselves getting bored. I just don't want people to be bored when they're watching my videos. So that's, but like I'm Becky, I mean, her most popular video is a super long one. So I think that is because of her personality. Like, people just like her.
Thank
but
you.
it's really play around with it, see what works for you. But again, it's more on the making it easy for both you as a content creator and the viewer as a viewer to get through your video.
And I think on that note too, like, I have gotten comments on some of my videos where people are like, this is way too long and you talk way too much and like you take way too long to get to the point. And some people are like, I love this. Like, thanks for keeping me company while I was doing my inventory, blah, blah, blah. And I think like one thing I've learned too from my decade of teaching is not everyone is going to like you, and you just have to be okay with that. Like, the second you start letting those comments get to you and you're like, so should I change that? Like, should I change the way that I do everything because of that one comment? That's when like you're not really going to appeal to anyone, because you've kind of lost that sense of who you are. And so I think I've learned to just like kind of tunnel vision myself, and like sometimes people will say things that are helpful for me to know and for me to think about, but also like just not everyone out there is going to like my channel, and that is totally okay, because there are 8,000 other channels that they can watch who are, you know, talking about the same thing as me, and that's fine. So like, that's one reason why I really don't take trolls personally or like care what people have to say, just because I'm like, that's fine, like move on to someone else's channel then, you know.
Yeah, Drew Profit Monsters said his YouTube goal is to have a video with 50,000 views and no dislikes. And Drew, I'm telling you, that is impossible. That's never going to happen.
I get a couple as soon as I upload. I'm like, man, damn it.
I had a premiere the other day that had 15 dislikes before it started.
That was amazing.
Like, you haven't even seen it yet. You don't even know.
I hate you.
Like, literally, I mean, people
should die.
Honestly, people that dislike your videos are just like, I guarantee you the percentage of people that dislike your videos that are actually disliking it because they truly dislike it is like 1%. Most people that dislike are just, they just don't like you for some reason. So don't take it personally.
The way you
I was talking to Ryan Roots from Rally Roots, and he says as long as their videos have like at least a 92 to 93% like to dislike ratio, they're fine. Like, you just have to account for about a 6 to 7% of people that interact with your video are just going to dislike it just for no reason.
Yeah. My son and daughter, they will watch YouTube videos. They're watching like little kid stuff. And my son will be like, I like this, thumbs down. And I'm like, no, like, don't do that. Like, he just doesn't.
Oh my God.
There are kids like that too out in the world who are like, I'm like, what? And my daughter is like screaming at him. She's like, you can't do that. You have to give them a thumbs up. And he's like, thumbs down. I'm like, you just said you
Oh my
liked
God, that's
it.
hilarious.
Yeah. So, you got to train them while they're young.
It's
All right. Well, our final question, and I think this is a really good question to end on, is from Emily Conway. And she said, how has doing YouTube videos changed for you as you have grown? Does it feel different having 500, 5K, 25K, etc.? Emily, only one of us are at 25K, but I'm sorry. This is a really big question. LOL.
I think as your channel grows, you take it, I guess, I don't want to say more seriously, because I think the intent of my channel has always been the same, but I consider it as like a very reliable secondary source of income now. So I think in terms of approaching it as part of like my business as a whole, that's changed as my channel has grown. But I know like some people, like for bigger YouTube channels, it's kind of a weird dynamic, because I mean, we're not celebrities, but sometimes people will kind of treat you like that. I don't know, not that I know what it's like to be a celebrity, but the way people talk to you in terms of like messages, when they like first find your channel, you can kind of tell it's like they don't really view you as a person. They see you as like a person on the screen. And for me, like that's like a very weird thing. I think I almost like rejected the title of YouTuber until I was at like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers. I was like, no, I'm just like I'm a dude that uploads videos. that's really all I am. But I think as my channel has grown, so like I said, like the 4,000 to 5,000 subscriber mark, I was like wow, like I need to start taking this seriously, because it could, it's a hobby that's turned into something that's generating income. So I need to approach it a bit more seriously than I am, and have like a game plan in terms of, the types of videos and the upload schedule and all that stuff. But I think that in terms of like the business aspect, it's changed as my channel has grown. But the way I approach like creating my videos, I mean, I've always created very similar videos since the beginning. So I'd say that's like the biggest thing that's changed for me.
Yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, like I said earlier in the video, like I never expected anything to come out of YouTube. It was just me starting something to see what happened. And so like I hit 6,000 subscribers like Christmas Eve or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is great. That's cool. And that was just when my first viral video was kind of taken off. And then from there, it like I went from 6,000 to 29,000 since, Christmas Eve's. And so it feels, I don't know, it's like almost like trying to catch up with everything. And I almost wish I wouldn't have grown so fast, because a lot of people, I've learned that a lot of people think that it was like fake. People that I actually respected, like people that have said that they enjoy my videos until I started to grow really fast. And then they just immediately think that it's fake. And so I've been struggling with like how to, I don't know, I get defensive. Like I was like, no, I'm not fake. Like you can look at my video. I had 2 videos.
Yeah, I don't have an explanation, but it's true. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's a struggle between like wanting to be defensive about it and not caring what other people think. And that's really the hardest part for me. I've always been like a people pleaser my whole life. Like just my personality, I've either been really liked or people just didn't care about me. I've never been disliked, at least not to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. But when you put yourself on YouTube, people come out the woodworks to tell you how much they dislike you. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I have struggled with, like not being defensive when people lie about you. And that's something that's just going to happen as you grow. So I actually wish I would have had a more steady increase in subscribers rather than that sudden burst. Because YouTube's weird. The same with videos, like how your video you post a video and it gets nothing for 8 months and then it takes off and gets 40,000 views in a week. The same thing can happen with subscribers. And that's what happened with me. So when people see that I went from 6 to 28 in a month and a half, and then I've gotten like yesterday, I think I had 15. And so, oh, he probably just bought a bunch of subscribers and now he's run out of money or something. And I'm like, no, like it's really crazy like that. I wish I knew what happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't feel any different. I mean, it's cool because I'm making, like, YouTube is now like my primary source of income. Hopefully, at least we'll see how the next couple weeks of videos of views go. But right now it's my primary source of income, which is cool. You know, it's not everybody you see can say that. But it hasn't I don't think I've changed. Like, I'm focusing more now. Like, I feel like I have a greater responsibility to, like, provide content to my subscribers. Like, if you have an audience of people that want content from you, and if you have 10 people that are subscribed to you, the pressure to produce content for that isn't as great as it would be with, 5, 10, or 25,000 subscribers, whatever. So I don't know. It's definitely different, but again, the biggest struggle for me is avoiding that defensive attitude, like trying to defend myself from every hate comment or every lie you hear. So I'm trying to ignore that a little bit more, but that's definitely the hardest part.
Yeah, because I think as your audience grows, obviously your fan base grows, but so does the number of people who don't care for you for whatever reason. And, included in that is also the same, like a small number of people who want to be vocal about it for whatever reason, So there's definitely, as there's growth here as well. So you have to be ready to deal with that. Have either of you been, like, recognized? I know a lot of Josh, you had a video where you were at, like, a garage sale or something, and someone was like, "Are you a lot of Josh?"
Yeah. I have a Facebook group for New Jersey resellers too now.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of promoted that in a couple of videos. So that group is at it's like 120 people now in my local area. So we'll do like meetups a month.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's kind of weird when you're like, hey, and I'm like, who is this? Because when I'm typically, I like kind of flying under the radar. That's kind of like the type of person I've been all my life. So I would, if I see a stranger at a coffee shop, I'm like, hey, like, good weather today, eh? Like, I am not that kind of person.
You
so
turn into a pirate.
Someone just approaches me, like, hey, I'm like, that's my initial reaction. I'm like, oh wait, this guy, he watches my channel, and then I'll flip on like, oh, okay, yeah, and then we'll start having a conversation. But my initial reaction is like, who's this guy talking to me? Like,
yeah.
I think one of the weirdest parts of YouTube is that, like, if you watch somebody's videos a lot, you almost feel like you have a friendship with them, but it's entirely one-sided. So, like, I've had several people come up to me and be like, oh, what's up, man? Like, oh, I watch your videos all the time. And they're talking to me like we're best friends. And I'm like, I have no idea who you are. Like, I mean, I'm polite and, like, ask them who they are, but that's, like, been the weirdest part for me is, like, people, like, it's a friendship. Like, I super appreciate all my subscribers, but, like, it's weird, like, putting yourself out there and, like, having people, know all this stuff about you, but not knowing who they are, and then seeing them in real life and you're like, oh, cool. Like, I met a guy earlier this week, and he, like, introduced himself, or he just started talking about, like, a video I just posted, like the positivity video. And for like 2 minutes, he didn't tell me what his name was. I'm like, cool, what's your name? Like, I felt like it was a cool conversation that we've been friends forever. But again, it is weird. And that's just, part of YouTube. It's very one-sided. But everybody's been super, super nice. A bunch of people at the bins watch my videos now, and they do not like me. They think I'm, like, creating competition, I guess, but I'm like,
giving away the secrets.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever, man.
That's really funny. I know I've only been recognized once, and I live in the middle of nowhere, so that doesn't surprise me. But I was in New York with my best friend who lives there, and she really wanted to see me in my element. So we went to the bins in Queens, and her and I were just, like, talking, and someone looked up, like, my head was down because I'm, like, picking, right? And someone looked up and she was like, "Are you Becky?" And I'm like, "What?" And my friend was like, "Wait, did you just recognize her by her voice?" And she was like, "Yeah, she talks a lot."
I listen to her all day long.
I was like, oh my gosh. And she had just bought a sweater from me, like, the week before. So she was in my video. And it was just so bonkers. And my best friend was like, "Oh my, you made it." And I'm like, "Stop talking to me right now. Like, you're so annoying." But like, that's never happened since then. But I think the weirdest thing for me has just been, like, because my students know what I do. And it's weird to have worlds collide for me. So when my students are like, "Becky Park on Poshmark," and I'm like, "Can you stop?" Like,
I am Myth Park.
Yeah, it's so weird. And they like all subscribe. Like I went live once and one of my students like jumped into the chat and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like your chat was like bumping." Like he was like, it was so lit. Like I didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, I mean,
Bumping
it's
and
just
lit.
people like to hang out. I don't know. But I think that's been really weird. Or like when like personal friends find out what I'm doing, and I think that's really weird because I'm so good at like compartmentalizing my life, I feel like. So it's weird when things kind of coincide with each other. But I mean, I'm definitely like at the lowest tier out of these three. So I don't know, like, yeah, but yeah, that was a cool
Yeah,
question.
and I think like the biggest thing with YouTube, it's so analytics driven. You're always trying to create the best video you've ever created, and it's very easy to get obsessive over that. I think the biggest advice for people that are starting new YouTube channels, you have to remember that YouTube is a very slow thing to build up. I think it took, I was making videos for like a year straight before I really started gaining traction and having like my first viral video. And that first year I wasn't doing it to make that viral video. I was just doing it because I enjoyed making videos. But my biggest advice for people are like, when should I start a YouTube channel, or should I start a YouTube channel? I'm like, if you're already thinking about it, you should probably at least try it out, because if you don't create a video, all you're going to do is sit on the fence and think about it. If you try it out and you don't like it, then you'll stop thinking about it. So, but just remember, it's a very slow process. If you don't enjoy making videos, like YouTube, creating videos just isn't for you. You have to like really love doing it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Well, that was all of the questions, and we've already been here for like an hour and 20 minutes, so I don't want to take any more of your guys' time. I can only speak more. Sorry, I can't talk. I can only speak for myself when I say, if you guys do have questions about YouTube, I'm not like the most knowledgeable person out there, but I mean, definitely feel free to shoot me a DM, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. And I think these guys that are here with me are just like wonderful people to learn from. Definitely watch their channels and see what's been working for them. And I think they talk pretty candidly too, whether it's in like live streams or in their own videos about their YouTube experience. And I know this is kind of just like a weird topic for us to be talking about, but I figured there were a lot of people going live and talking about reselling and stuff like that. And I just wanted to try something different and, have a conversation about something that I knew a lot of people were either in the process of doing or thinking about doing. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Tomorrow I'm going to be live on Courtney's channel, Courtney from Common Tags. I think we're just hanging out. Like, I don't think there's an agenda. So definitely come hang out with us over on her channel. She does some amazing stuff over there too. So I don't know. Do you guys have any closing thoughts? Any parting words of wisdom?
I will say, somebody commented on my video from yesterday. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's pretty good. Lots of cool bolos.
Holding all the bills.
Yeah,
Okay.
That one.
Okay.
So somebody said, I don't know. Somebody commented on my video and just said like, "Oh, you've grown really fast." He asked how long it took me to get to 29,000 subscribers, and I said a little over a year. And somebody else commented on that and said, "One thing I see Harry Tornado doing that nobody else does is asking people to subscribe to his channel in the actual video and asking for likes." So like, I don't do it all the time, but there is a severe difference in videos, like the likes and subscriptions that the videos generate when you ask for those in the videos. It's not that you don't want to be annoying, but you just want to remind people. So like yesterday's video, in my intro before I started the bolos, I said, "Hey, if you haven't found me before, just in case that video goes viral, I'm a full-time reseller. All my videos are about my business. If you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe." Took like 10 seconds, get it out of the way into the bolos. And then I did 5 bolos, and then I stopped, and I was literally like, I had my camera on this thing, and I was like, "Okay, quick, 1 second here. If you guys are enjoying this video at all, like even 1%, if you learned anything, go ahead and hit the like button. It's free. It takes you like 2 seconds, and it helps me out a ton." And that video has gotten over 1,000 likes, which is, I don't know, like 40% more than a normal video would get. So just that one quick second in the video asking for a like after I'd already provided 5 bolos.
Yeah.
People are liking the video much more than they would have. And again, it's not, you don't want to be annoying. You don't want to ask for it in the beginning before you give them anything in return. But The ideal mark is around like the 4 to 5 minute mark, I think. So like after you provided some value, right before people click off on average, ask them to subscribe and like, and I think that would greatly help your growth.
Yeah. I mean, like my son, I didn't really know how to watch YouTube videos when I first started watching them. And I watched a ton about like different things that I was passionate about. Like I watched a ton on gardening and I watched a ton of whatever. And like, it wasn't until I was watching them for like a year that I realized I should be hitting the like button. I should be subscribing to people if I wanted to like just have their videos pop up on my feed without having to search their name. So, you know, just assume people are like me or my son who's just like disliking all the videos that he loves, you know, with all of his heart. And like, you do have to like teach them how to be a YouTube audience member, you know? And so, yeah, that's so true. Sorry, Josh, I think I cut you off.
Who, me?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say anything useful.
Yeah, a bunch of people in their chat are saying that like they'll watch a video and enjoy it and they just forget to like it, or people will ask for likes and subscriptions at the very end of the video, but most people stop watching like once you another tip here, when you get to the end of your video, you don't want to drag it out. Like obviously you want to have some sort of, you know, synopsis, but you don't want to say, okay guys, so that's all I have for you today, and then the video is 4 more minutes, because after you say something like that, people are going to stop watching. So, you know, yesterday's video, I provided the 10th bolo, and that was like, thanks for watching, subscribe, like, see you guys in the next one, whatever. Like it cut off very quickly. I didn't give people a chance to stop watching before the end of the video. So you want to make sure the ends are nice and concise, and also don't ask for likes and subscriptions at the end, because most people stop watching by then. So just friendly reminder, a couple minutes into the video, and I think you'll see some results.
So true. Yeah. A lot of Josh, do you have any ending parting words of wisdom?
Parting words of wisdom. I think I'm all out, but I mean, just hanging out with, I mean, the best thing about YouTube for me is I've met so many amazing people like Becky and Josh here. I consider them my friends. People in the chat, like I recognize a lot of people just typing away. So I don't know. That's kind of what keeps me going. The people.
Yeah, guys like Joey Bada Bing 22. Nicest guy I've ever met.
Yes,
I haven't even met him.
Than all of us. Hope you remember us, Joey.
Yes, and shout out. It looks like Joey is going to be on Bolo Buddy's channel on Tuesday. Yes. So definitely make sure that you go to Bolo Buddy's channel and check that out. She has a really cool format for her live videos. It's like very interactive. So definitely make sure that you do that. I got to be on her show once. We have taken up an hour and a half of your time. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And I don't really have any parting words of wisdom except be safe and
wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Don't pick your nose. Just, you know, practice good hygiene and don't dislike videos unless it's really awful, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your support. We've been seeing some really cool things of people being like, this is how I'm supporting my favorite, you know, YouTuber. And they're like playing videos in the background and stuff. Like, you guys are awesome. So thank you for doing all of that and hanging out with us. And that's it. Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Oh my gosh.